Chapter 6. The Polo Pony. The next day, the soldiers took all the tents down, and the Mavericks marched to Umballa. Kim walked with them. In the afternoon, Father Victor rode up to him.
How did you know? How did you know we were going to war?
Kim did not answer. He just looked mysteriously into the distance. The next day, the Mavericks left Umballa for the war. A drummer boy guarded Kim.
How far away am I allowed to walk?
Asked Kim, as they stood in front of the empty barracks.
You can walk as far as that tree down there,
answered the drummer boy. Kim, who was now wearing stiff army clothes, did not have the energy to run. He walked towards the tree. A servant walked by and insulted Kim in Hindustani. He did not think Kim could understand him. Kim invented a series of insults in Hindustani as an answer. The native servant was amazed.
And now?
Said Kim to the servant.
Go and call me a letter writer.
Soon the letter writer came. He was curious to see this strange English boy who could speak Hindustani so well. The letter he wrote for Kim finished with,
The clothes are very heavy and my heart is heavy too. I do not like the air and water here. Come and help me, Mahbub Ali, or send me some money because I do not have enough to pay the writer who writes this.
When the letter writer discovered that Mahbub Ali was Kim's friend, he agreed to post the letter for Kim and wait for his payment. Kim went back to the drummer boy. After lunch, he was very happy when a soldier came and took him to see Father Victor.
I have received a letter from your friend, the Lama,
he said with amazement.
Where is he? Is he well? Oh, if he can write a letter, all is well,
said Kim.
You are fond of him then?
Asked Father Victor.
Of course I am fond of him. He is fond of me,
replied Kim.
He can't write English, can he?
Asked the priest.
Oh no, but of course he found a letter writer, answered Kim.
Well, he wrote me a most incredible letter from the Jain temple of Benares where he's staying. He says that he will send you the 300 rupees a year for you to attend St. Saviour's. This is incredible. Is this true, Kim?
If he says he will give me 300 rupees a year, then he will do it, answered Kim calmly.
Well, we were going to send you to the military orphanage, but now I will wait for 3 days. I really do not believe this is true, but I will wait 3 days,
decided Father Victor. 4 days later, Father Victor had 2 more surprises. First, he received another letter from the Lama with a cheque for 300 rupees.
The Lama, who is just a street beggar, has enough money to send a white boy to an expensive school,
he thought. Just then the drummer boy came running to him.
The boy is gone,
he cried.
A strange man with a red beard riding a stallion came. He hit me and then pulled that boy up. Then they rode away.
What other strange people does this boy know?
Said Father Victor to no one in particular. The man with a red beard, Mahbub Ali, rode a short distance with Kim and said,
Little friend of all the world, I cannot take you away. Everybody saw me hit that drummer boy and take you. If I don't take you back, they will put me in jail.
Please let me escape,
begged Kim.
I want to go back to my Lama.
Just then an Englishman rode up on a small polo pony.
Here you are. I have looked for you everywhere,
said the Englishman.
What horses have you got for sale these days?
I have a wonderful young horse, perfect for the delicate and difficult game of polo. There is no other horse like it,
said Mahbub.
Of course, you always say that,
said the Englishman.
And what on earth is this?
A boy,
said Mahbub seriously.
He is an orphan. His father was a soldier.
Let him go then,
said the Englishman.
He will certainly come back when he is hungry.
Oh no,
explained Mahbub.
He is a clever little boy. He has friends. He changes his clothing and becomes, as if by magic, a little Hindu boy or a Muslim boy.
Really?
Said the Englishman, who looked carefully at the boy. Kim became very angry. Mahbub was making fun of him.
They will send him to a school,
said Mahbub.
and put heavy boots on his feet. Then he will forget everything he knows. Now, which barracks is yours?
Kim was so angry now that he could not speak. He pointed to where Father Victor lived.
Well,
Continued Mahbub,
perhaps he will make a good soldier. He will make a good servant at least. I sent him once to deliver a message about a white stallion.
Kim did not say a word, but he thought,
Me? Just a servant? Just a common soldier? I delivered that important message to this Englishman. Now I recognise him. Was that the work of a servant? Doesn't the Englishman recognise me? That's horrible, Mahbub.
and Mahbub stared at the Englishman, who was Colonel Creighton. Colonel Creighton stared at Kim, who was silent.
My horse is well trained,
said Mahbub.
You see, it doesn't kick.
Mahbub, of course, was really talking about Kim. He wanted Colonel Creighton to see that Kim knew not to talk about important things, never, even if he was terribly provoked. In other words, Kim could become a great secret agent. Colonel Creighton was, after all, the head of the British spies in India.
Ah,
Said Colonel Creighton.
who will make this boy a soldier?
He says the regiment that found him, and especially the priest.
Answered Mahbub.
There is the priest.
Shouted Kim, as Father Victor came down from his veranda.
Incredible. O'Hara,
Said the priest, when he saw Kim on Mahbub's stallion.
how many more friends have you got?
So, Kim went to the St. Saviour's in Lucknow. Before he went, Mahbub explained to Kim that he too could become a secret agent. Anyway, the school was not so bad as Kim had thought. The other boys there were born in India, just like Kim. So, Kim studied and began to learn about making maps. This was very important if he wanted to travel and collect information for the government as a secret agent. But after his first year of school, Kim wanted to be free again, at least for his school holidays. So he ran off and found Mahbub. The two travelled together, but finally Mahbub took Kim up to Simla, a town in the hills. When they arrived there, Mahbub said,
I have heard from Colonel Creighton. He says you have not come back to school.
School in the summer?
said Kim.
The holidays are mine.
Perhaps.
Continued Mahbub.
But now Colonel Creighton says you must stay at Lurgan Sahib's house until it is time to go back to school in Lucknow.
I would prefer to stay with you.
Said Kim.
This is a great honour.
Said Mahbub.
Lurgan Sahib himself asked for you. You will go up the hill and find his house. Then you must forget that you have ever known Mahbub Ali, who sells horses to Creighton Sahib, whom you also do not know. Remember this order.
Good.
Said Kim.
I will not forget. Who is Lurgan Sahib? Is he one of us?
What talk is this of us, Sahib?
Mahbub Ali now talked to Kim as he usually talked to Europeans.
I am a Pashtun. You are a Sahib, and a friend of a Sahib, Lurgan Sahib, has a shop. You must obey him completely. Some people say that he does magic. Go up the hill and ask. The great game begins here and now.
Chapter 7. Spy School. Kim began to walk up the street to look for Lurgan Sahib's shop. He felt very important. He was now a Sahib. He saw a little Indian boy about 10 years old sitting under a lamppost.
Where is Mr. Lurgan's shop?
Kim asked him. The boy took Kim to a shop with a veranda on the street. The door was open. He has arrived, said the little boy very quietly. Kim felt that Lurgan Sahib had sent the boy to bring him here. Kim went into the building and saw a man with a black beard wearing a green shade over his eyes. He was sitting at a table. With incredible quickness, he was putting shiny pearls on a string.
79, 80, 81.
The man counted to himself, and then he took off his green shade and stared at Kim. The pupils of his eyes became very large and then very small. as if he controlled them. Kim had seen a magician do this in Lahore, so he was not frightened.
Do not be afraid,
said Lurgan Sahib suddenly.
Why should I be afraid?
Replied Kim.
You will sleep here tonight, and stay with me until it is time to go again to Lucknow. It is an order.
It is an order,
Kim repeated.
But where will I sleep?
Here in this room.
Lurgan Sahib pointed to the dark room behind him.
Fine,
said Kim calmly.
Now?
Lurgan Sahib nodded and held a lamp above his head. Kim could now see the Tibetan devil masks on the walls, together with many other frightening masks, swords and knives. Kim had already seen many of these objects in the Lahore Museum. He also saw the little boy sitting under the table. He had a smile on his face.
I think Lurgan Sahib wants to make me afraid. And I am sure that devil boy under the table wants to see me afraid,
he thought.
This place,
he said aloud,
is like a wonder house. Where is my bed? And you, little boy, stop smiling because I will beat you in the morning.
When Kim woke up the next morning, Lurgan Sahib was looking down at him. The man offered Kim his hand.
Shake hands, O'Hara,
he said. Kim looked at him carefully. He was a Sahib because he wore Sahib clothing, but the accent of his Hindustani was perfect, and his English was not at all like a Sahib.
I am sorry you cannot beat my boy this morning. He says he will kill you with a knife or poison. He is jealous. He has just tried to kill me with poison. You must help with the breakfast. He is almost too jealous to trust just now.
Well,
Kim thought,
a Sahib from England would make a big fuss about this story of jealousy. But Lurgan Sahib said it very calmly as Mahbub talks about his dangerous travels in Afghanistan.
Lurgan walked to the other end of the veranda to fill up a water jar.
Do you want a drink?
Lurgan asked. Kim nodded. Lurgan Sahib, who was 15 feet away, put his hand on the jar. In the very next moment, it was next to Kim's elbow, and it was completely full.
Wow,
said Kim in complete amazement.
That is magic.
Lurgan smiled. He liked the compliment.
Throw it back,
Lurgan said.
It will break,
said Kim.
Throw it back.
Kim threw it in the direction of Lurgan. It fell on the ground and broke into 50 pieces.
I said it would break,
said Kim.
It isn't important,
said Lurgan.
Look at the largest piece.
The largest piece had a little water in it and sparkled in the light. Lurgan Sahib came and put his hand on the back of Kim's neck and whispered,
Look, it will come together again, piece by piece. First, the big piece will join itself to two other pieces on the right and the left, on the right and the left. Look.
Lurgan held Kim very lightly and delicately, but Kim could not move at all. Now he saw one piece where there had been 3 small pieces, and above this large piece he could now vaguely see the shape of the entire jar, but the jar had been broken. He had seen it break into pieces on the floor.
Look, it is coming together again,
said Lurgan Sahib. Kim began to fight this illusion. Before, he had thought in Hindustani, but now he began to say to himself the multiplication table in English.
Look, it is coming together again,
whispered Lurgan Sahib.
The jar was broken into many pieces,
thought Kim in English.
And 2 times 3 is 6, and 3 times 3 is 9, and 4 times 3 is 12.
Kim continued repeating the multiplication table, and gradually the vague shape of the jar disappeared, and only the broken pieces remained.
Look, is it coming together again?
asked Lurgan Sahib.
No,
answered Kim.
It is still broken. There are still pieces on the floor like before. It is broken. It is still broken.
Then Kim finally pulled away from Lurgan.
Was that more magic?
Asked Kim.
No, it was not magic,
Answered Lurgan.
It was a test, and I am very happy with you. Very, very happy. You are the first to resist. The first that did not see the illusion.
Lurgan sat down at the table. They heard the little boy crying.
Ah, it is you. You are so jealous. Will you try to poison me again?
Asked Lurgan. Never, never, no, cried the boy.
And will you try to kill this other boy?
Asked Lurgan. No, never, cried the boy.
What do you think he will do?
Lurgan suddenly asked Kim.
I don't know,
Answered Kim.
but why does he want to poison you?
Because he likes me so much. He is jealous because he thinks I prefer you to him.
Explained Lurgan. Oh, please, send him away, cried the boy.
Not yet,
Said Lurgan.
He will go away in a little bit. But now he is at school, and you will be his teacher. Play the game of the jewels against him. I will keep score.
The little boy ran and got a box filled with jewels. Lurgan took out 15 jewels and put them on the table in front of Kim.
What is the game?
Asked Kim. You must look at the jewels. You can even touch them if you want, explained the boy. You can look at them as long as you want. I will only need a moment. Then you must cover them with a piece of paper and describe them all to Lurgan Sahib. Kim looked carefully at the jewels and was able to describe 13 of them. But the little boy was much better. When his turn came, he looked for half a minute at his jewels and then described them all in the greatest possible detail. They played several times, and each time the boy was much better than Kim.
Is the boy better than you?
Asked Lurgan.
Yes, certainly,
Said Kim.
Good.
Said Lurgan.
Then he will teach you now.
Chapter 8. Hari Chunda Mukherjee. Kim stayed with Lurgan Sahib for 10 days. He and the boy often played the game of the jewels, but not always with jewels. Sometimes they used other objects, and other times they used photographs of people. Sometimes Kim and the boy sat in the back of the shop. They had to look carefully at every person who came in. Then, at the end of the day, they had to describe each person's face, talk, and actions. Sometimes they dressed up like different kinds of Indians. The shop was full of all different kinds of clothing, and Lurgan Sahib was an expert at makeup. This, perhaps, was Kim's favourite part. He loved dressing up like different people. One evening, Kim dressed up like a beggar from Lahore. He imitated perfectly what the beggar said when he begged from an Englishman and from an Indian. Lurgan Sahib laughed loudly and told Kim to stay dressed as a Lahore beggar and to wait. After a few minutes, a big Babu came into the shop. His name was Hari Chunda Mukherjee. Kim began his imitation of the Lahore beggar. Lurgan Sahib watched the Babu very carefully.
I think,
Said the Babu,
I am of the opinion that it is a most extraordinary and efficient performance. How soon will he be capable of making maps? Because then I will want to use him.
That is what he must learn at Lucknow,
answered Lurgan.
Then tell him to be quick. Good night, Lurgan,
Said the Babu, and walked out like a big, heavy cow. Later, when they were talking about the visitors to the shop, Lurgan asked Kim about the fat man.
Well, I see that he wants me to work for him when I finish school,
Said Kim.
so I suppose he is a member of the Secret Service too. But to look at him, I do not understand how he can wear disguises and speak different languages.
You will learn many things,
Answered Lurgan Sahib.
But there are very few men who really want to work for the Secret Service, to travel around India and collect information. And maybe of these few men, there are 10 that I think are the best. Harichandra Mukherjee is among these 10. A brave Bengali. Isn't that incredible?
4 days later, Kim got into a carriage to go back to school. The Babu travelled with him. Kim looked at him with amazement.
How can this big round man be a member of the Secret Service?
Later in the journey, after a large meal, Harichandra Mukherjee began to talk to Kim.
You know,
He said,
I studied at Calcutta University. Remember to study Shakespeare at school. That too can be useful. Also French and Latin. Learn mathematics well and the art of measuring the land and making maps. This is most important. Someday I hope we will work together officially. Now, goodbye. I have very urgent business nearby.
He got down quickly from the carriage like a slim, silent, graceful cat. Kim enjoyed school and he studied hard. He knew that he had to learn everything about map-making and describing cities. This was essential if he wanted to play the great game. Kim did well too, but when the holidays came, he wanted to be free again. So, Colonel Creighton gave him permission to travel with Mahbub Ali. When Kim was 16, Mahbub Ali thought that Kim had had enough school.
He has learned everything about maths and map-making he needs,
said Mahbub.
If he continues at school, it will only ruin him as a player in the great game. I agree very much too,
added Harichandra Mukherjee.
Well,
said Colonel Creighton, who was not so certain.
perhaps he can travel with his red llama for 6 months. Maybe, though, Harry can keep an eye on him from time to time.
So it was decided, and a letter was sent to Kim's headmaster. The headmaster then called for Kim.
Young man, you are very fortunate,
said the headmaster.
Your first job is going to be map-making. Remember, you are still young. Be careful.
Kim was very happy. That evening he met Mahbub at the Lucknow train station. Mahbub explained everything to Kim. Kim then took the train to Benares to meet the Lama at the Jain temple. Chapter 9. On the Road Again. When Kim first saw the Lama in front of the temple, he fell to the Lama's feet.
You paid for my school and food for 3 years. I have completed my studies and now I have come to you.
You are no longer a child. You are now a man,
said the Lama.
I was right to leave you with those men with guns.
Kim and the Lama talked about their first journey together for some time. Then they decided on where to go next. The Lama wanted to go north to see the kind old lady who lived near Saharanpur. They took a train north to Delhi, and then from Delhi they took a train to Saharanpur. From there they continued their journey on foot. They walked across the countryside talking and praying. Each evening they received hospitality in a different village. Sometimes they stopped along the roadside, and the Lama pulled out his illustration of the Wheel of Life. He explained to Kim how people are born and die and are reborn again. He showed Kim the different hells and paradises. Sometimes people stopped and threw flowers on the Lama's drawing as a sign of respect and devotion. One day, a servant of the old lady found them. This was not difficult. There were no other red llamas travelling about the countryside.
The old lady wants to see you again,
said the servant.
She needs more charms for her grandchild. He always becomes sick after eating too many mangoes.
Oh yes,
said the Lama.
I remember now.
He had forgotten their destination.
I often stayed with her when you were in school. She talks too much, but she is a very good woman. I do not like giving charms, but for her, I can.
Kim, the llama and the servant then walked 11 miles to the house of the old lady. She was very happy when she saw Kim and the llama. She talked to them from the window of her house.
"Oh, how handsome you have become,"
she said to Kim.
"Many women must be in love with you."
Oh, Maharani,
Replied Kim.
you are still a great beauty.
"Still?"
Laughed the old lady.
"Maybe 20, maybe 30 years ago."
After dinner, the llama went off to his little room to sleep, and Kim stayed by the fire.
"I hope,"
Said the old lady.
"tomorrow the llama will make me a charm for my grandchild. He can also give me his opinion of the drugs of my new doctor."
What new doctor, Maharani?
Said Kim.
"Oh, he is very good. He is a Bengali. His medicines are very, very good. I myself have used them."
Oh, be careful.
Said Kim, a little jealous of this new doctor.
These travelling doctors sell coloured water and call it medicine.
Really? You doubt me?
Said a deep voice from the darkness. The doctor came and sat next to Kim by the fire. They began to talk about medicine. When they were finally alone, the doctor, who was a very large man, said to Kim,
Ah, don't you recognize me?
No? Why should I? I mean...
said Kim, confused.
Oh, it's you, Hurry Babu. How did you find me?
Red llamas are not very common in this part of the world.
Explained Hurry Babu.
Also, Mahbub told me you were coming here. I bought a box of medicine and began my journey as a traveling doctor. I really am a good doctor, though. But there is an important mission for us, Mr. O'Hara.
What is it? I hoped to play the great game soon.
Said Kim.
Very soon.
Began Hurry Babu.
Do you remember the white stallion?
Yes.
Kim replied.
There were 5 kings who prepared a war against the British 3 years ago. I brought a message from Mahbub to Colonel Creighton.
Exactly.
Continued Hurry Babu.
But there was no war in the end. 2 of those 5 kings were paid by the British. They said they would protect the north. However, I have discovered that these 2 kings are now working with the Russians. In fact, a Russian and a Frenchman are now in the north, making promises to the kings and making maps.
I am beginning to understand.
Said Kim.
I am going to the north to see what these 2 are doing.
Said Hurry Babu.
I would like some assistance. I am always afraid, you know. I am a Bengali after all. You do not need to travel with me. If you are near in case of danger, that is enough. So, you must persuade your llama to continue his search for the river of the arrow to the north.
That will not be difficult.
Said Kim.
He comes from the hills and suffers greatly in the heat of the plains.
The next day at noon, Hurry Babu left. That evening, Kim and the llama also left for the hills. It had not been at all difficult to persuade the llama to continue his search in his cool hills. Chapter 10. The Hills. Kim and the llama began walking slowly north from Saharanpur. They walked through the cities of Dehradun and then, closer to the hills, the city of Mussoorie. At the beginning of their journey, the llama needed Kim's help walking. But as they began to go upwards in the hills, the llama became stronger and stronger. For Kim, however, the walking became more and more difficult, and the winds colder and colder. The llama, who was a hillman, led Kim away from the main road along more difficult paths. The people of the hills welcomed the llama and Kim. Many of them were Buddhists and saw the llama as a very important holy man. Gradually, Kim became stronger, and he studied more deeply the wheel of life with the llama. In these hills, there was very little to distract them. Occasionally, they saw a bear on a distant hill or an eagle in the sky. One morning, they even saw a snow leopard that was eating a goat. Otherwise, there was nothing. These hills under the great Himalayas were like a world of dreams.
Surely the gods live here,
said Kim, who was amazed by the great distances and silence of the place.
This is no place for men.
Hurry Babu, who was carrying a blue and white umbrella, also walked up into the hills, but he stayed on the main road. Soon he met the Russian and Frenchman. He presented himself as an agent for the Raja of Rampur. The Russian and Frenchman were very happy because they were having trouble with their porters. They had baskets carrying mountain goat heads. They were pretending to be hunters. But most important to them was a basket with a red cover which carried all their maps and papers. They planned to take these precious documents down to Simla and then send them back to Russia. Hurry Babu soon solved their problem with their porters, who were hillmen. So the Russian and Frenchman, now with the assistance of an agent of the Raja of Rampur, continued their journey down to Simla. On the second day, they saw Kim and the Lama studying the wheel of life near the road. Hurry Babu, who always thought very quickly, said,
Look, that is a very important local holy man, a subject of the Raja of Rampur.
What is he doing? It is very curious,
said the Russian.
He is explaining the holy picture, which is made by hand,
said Hurry Babu.
Tell him that I want to buy his picture,
said the Russian. Hurry Babu walked closer to Kim and the Lama. Kim understood the situation immediately.
Holy One,
said the Babu.
These sahibs want to buy your drawing.
No,
replied the Lama, who was also an artist.
He says no,
Hurry Babu said to the Russian. The Russian became angry. He did not see the Lama as an important holy man. He saw him as a dirty old man arguing about money for an old drawing. He walked up to the Lama and grabbed at the drawing. The Lama did not let go, and the drawing ripped. The Lama became angry and stood up. Then the Russian hit him on the face. The hillmen carrying the baskets were shocked. They became afraid and ran up the hill with the baskets on their backs. Kim, too, was shocked. He attacked the Russian. The two went rolling down the hill. Again, the Babu thought very quickly. He went and pulled Kim off the Russian. Kim wanted to kill him. Then he whispered in his ear,
You must run up with the hillmen who have the baskets. The one with the red cover has all the important documents. Keep that one. Go.
Kim ran off with the hillman, who had also taken the Lama with them. The Frenchman now had his pistol in his hand, but the Babu shouted at him,
Do not shoot! They will come and kill us all! Why did you hit their holy man? You have done something horrible. Now we will be lucky to arrive in Simla alive.
But, of course, the Babu was very happy that the Russian had done something so horrible. Kim now had all their secret letters and documents. Chapter 11. The River of the Arrow. Kim, the Lama and the hillman travelled to a very small village called Shamle under the snow. They were treated with great respect. The leader of the village, a woman, even had her men carry the Lama down to the next village. Then each village along the way was very happy to carry a Lama who was searching for a holy river, for a while until they reached the plain. There, on the plains, the last group of hillmen left the Lama and Kim and went back to the hills. The Lama looked sadly towards the Himalayas, which were his home, and said,
Holy hills, the arrow of our Lord Buddha did not fall among you, and I will never breathe your cool air again before I die.
Now Kim was all alone with the Lama. He had to carry the food, the maps and papers. He had to help the old man to walk. He had to prepare the old man's bed and to beg food for him in the morning and evening.
You are the best chela, even if you are a sahib. It is strange,
said the Lama.
You have said,
answered Kim,
that there is neither black nor white. Why talk about these things, Holy One? I am your chela and I am tired.
Soon, Kim realized that he could not continue. He was now very ill. He sent a message to the old lady, and soon some of her servants came. They carried Kim and the Lama back to the old lady's house near Saharanpur. When they arrived at the old lady's house, she looked down from her window and said to the Lama,
I told you, Holy One, to keep an eye on your chela. He has become sick by running after women. Look at his eyes.
Kim looked up at her, but he was too tired to smile.
Do not joke,
said the Lama.
We are here for important matters. I became sick spiritually in the hills. I became angry and wanted to hit a man. And he became sick in the body. It is my fault.
Before he fell asleep, Kim asked the old lady for a box with a lock. He said that it was for some holy books. Then he put the secret maps and documents in it. After this, the old lady took control of the situation. First, she let him sleep and sleep and sleep. Then she fed him and massaged him until, after many days, he was able to sit up and talk.
Where is my Holy One?
Kim asked.
Oh, listen to him. Your Holy One is well.
She responded angrily.
But he is lucky. First he refused the good food that I cooked, and then went walking around the fields for 2 nights. And then he fell into one of our streams and almost drowned. Thank goodness that the doctor was there and pulled him out. And then he says that he is now, what did he say? Yes, he is free of all sin. He has found his river. Anyway, he always keeps an eye on you.
The old lady then told Kim that the doctor was also there. The doctor had wanted to see Kim, but the old lady had kept him away.
Oh, please, send him to me now,
said Kim. The lady left Kim's room, and soon the doctor, who was, of course, Huri Babu, came in.
Oh, Mr. O'Hara, we are all so extremely proud of you. As soon as you are better, we will work together again,
cried Huri Babu.
The papers, the maps and books from the basket. Here is the key to the box under my bed,
was Kim's answer. He could no longer stand the huge responsibility of keeping them. Huri Babu took everything from Kim and left for Simla to take it all to Colonel Creighton. Kim got up and walked away from the old lady's home. He went towards a cart on a little hill with a tree just above the flat fields. When he arrived in front of the cart, he lay down and fell into a deep sleep. Later that day, the Lama came out to Kim. He said,
Wake up! Wake up! I have found it!
I have slept for 100 years,
said Kim.
Where have you been, Holy One? I came out here to look for you.
Listen to me,
continued the Lama.
My search is over. Listen to what happened. The old lady offered me food, but I did not eat. For 2 days and 2 nights I meditated. During the second night my soul left my body. It was free and went near to the great soul. At this point, I could see all of India, from Ceylon in the sea to the hills and my monastery in Tibet. Then I was about to enter forever the great soul, when I heard a voice that cried, What will happen to the boy, your chela, if you die? I could not abandon you. So I left the great soul. Then I heard a voice that said, Look out, there is the river of the arrow. Then my soul was in my body again, and the doctor pulled me out of the river. It was really only a small stream.
Oh, I'm glad that the Babu was near,
said Kim.
Were you very wet?
That is not important,
answered the Lama.
The doctor was very worried about the body of the Lama. But I came back from freedom, from the great soul, for you. We are now both free from sin.
The Lama smiled because he had freed himself and the boy he loved from sin.